in the today's session, in this hall, this is the last session, but it is a very important and relevant subject because our MSMEs are contributing almost 35% of the GDP or maybe nearing 40%, and they are also contributing more than 50% of the exports. And it is now desired that MSME should contribute 50% of the GDP and almost maybe what you call 50 above exports also. And none of the corporate can what you call be performed without the help of MSME. And I have been always thinking that the MSME ecosystem have to be strengthened, and there should be more engagement with all the stakeholders in making the MSME to prosper. That is where the subject in the Viksit Bharat we have selected how the MSME could be an engine of spectacular growth for achievement of new benchmarks in India's Viksit Bharat. So I am glad that all of our audience, both here and Emerald Hall, in spite of their busy schedule, live it up to that. Normally, the last session we don't get much, but still all of you are there. Now I request Manoj Kumar Singh, who is the Zonal General Manager of the National Small Scale Industries, and in this place he has been taking a lot of initiatives in all our chamber or any other association. We always value his presence. On behalf of the NCUB collaboration and our community partners, I extend a hearty greetings to you, sir. You will be speaking as our guest of honor or chief guest for 10 minutes. Then it will be followed by a group discussion. And we have CS Arya, General Manager from our MSME from IDBI Bank. And IDBI Bank, as I mentioned morning, they are our supporter in all our 4 to 5 years. So, and there was a change. One general manager, she went to another department, but CSRA is a very spectacular help. So, give him a big hand. That is the quality of the bank, quality of the IDBI Bank. And Mr. Nagaraj Garla, who is the ED of the MSME Mid-Corporate, and morning he had addressed also. So, I must thank your bank, and today the program which is there, without them they cannot be a success. Then we have Bombay Stock Exchange, one of the oldest, but with more innovation, more creativity, and the entire Bombay Stock Exchange has been living up to the expectation of the market, bringing newer enablers. And we have Radha Kirti Vassan. She is the head of the listing of MSME in the Bombay Stock Exchange. And Sundar Ramurthy, he is the CEO. And we have a series of speakers from the Bombay Stock Exchange, and they are also our sponsors for the program. Give a big hand of clap. Then, one of our, because we do quite a lot of program together, and I am also an advisor. Most of us, whenever you need any help for the MSME, or if you need any unsecured loans, or if you need housing finance or means mortgage finance, we value the time. When is required, it should be delivered. If it is given at a time when we don't need, that doesn't help. So there must be a intermediary who can enable that. So the Rupee Boss has been enabling this mechanism, and their growth has been spectacular. And it is one way, of course. I think they have a system in place of their 100 institutions, that with all the due diligence only this is being done. So out of the current little problem in the unsecured, I don't think our Rupee Boss would have given such cases. So we will invite or welcome P.N. Shetty, CEO of Rupee Boss. Incidentally, I am an advisor to them also, and They are all, we do quite a lot of program together, Incube Collaboration and Rupee Boss. And we have a very dynamic person. And I think today, the Rupee Boss has powered Bharat Manch. This is a platform where all the stakeholders of one side MSME, other side all facilitators who are providing the service on a competitive terms to MSME. So I think you must also tie up with the IDBI Bank here, and you must see that they will also give you the necessary facilities. So we have Dr. G. Ramesh Kumar, Director General, MSME Bharat Manch. And after that, we had the Mr. Rahul Narayan and from the Exim Bank, but I think they had some internal meeting. He could not come, but I know our own colleagues will even cover the export front, how the banks are providing support and how the Exim Bank and the bank know that combination, including ESG, how that will work for the betterment of exports. Then other two colleagues from the, see what happened, it is in the last end of the month. There are one hour board meeting and other things, but I am there representing the entire public sector bank. Otherwise we had Manoj Kare and Ashok Pathak, but it happens. And we have Mr. Hariyar Mishra, so he is the CEO of ARC Association. Normally account should not go into the sickness, but you know, but वो भी बैंकर है, वो स्टेट बैंक का बड़ा बैंकर थे अभी ARC, एंड ARC एसोसिएशन में भी आई एम वन ऑफ देयर एडवाइसर. सो हमने बोला ये थोड़ा कभी सिकनेस आता है और इधर आता है, उसका क्या मैकेनिज्म है, तो आपको भी एक आके हमारा साथ बैठना पड़ेगा. तो विद दिस आई इनवाइट फर्स्ट मनोज कुमार सिंह जी टू गिव हिज अराउंड 10 minutes योर एड्रेस, सर प्लीज.
Respected Dr. Narendra sir, Sri C.S. Acharya ji, General Manager IDBI Bank, Sri Radha Kriti Vasan, Head Listing and SME BSc, Dr. G. Ramesh Kumar, DG Bharat Manch, Sri P.N. Sethi, CEO, esteemed panelists, all the intermediate, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon all of you. I, on behalf of NSIC, once again welcome you all. It's my proud privilege and honor to be parts of this event, especially it is related to the MSME. Session 1, Engine of Growth for Viksit Bharat. The National Small Industries Corporation Limited is a Government of India enterprises under Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. So this is the only sole center public enterprises under Ministry of MSME. NSIC has been working to promote, aid and foster the growth of micro, small and medium enterprises in the country. NSIC provides integrated support to the MSME, that is marketing support, technology support, finance support, other support services. NSIC operates through countrywide network of offices and technical center in the country. In addition, NSIC has set up training incubation center across the country to give the training and motivate them to become entrepreneur, especially MSME. As you know, MSME plays a crucial role in providing large employment generation at competitive low capital costs, then large industries, and also help in internalization of rural and backward areas. MSME Act was notified by the Government of India in 2006, where enterprise word is come, where both manufacturing as well as service enterprises has been added. Earlier it was a small scale industries. On 9th May 2007, Ministry of Small Scale Industries and Ministry of Agro and Rural Industries were merged to form the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and Ministry of Micro Medium Enterprises now formulates the policies and related all to promote the MSMEs. MSME is the backbone of the Indian economy, around employment given by around 12 crore. With approx 6.3 crore of MSME unit. Present GDP is 30.1% of GDP contribution towards during the financial year 2022-23. MSME Ministry, as Dr. Narendra sir has told, MSME Ministry targeting 50% contribution by MSME. That is real growth engine for the India, for Viksit Bharat. And MSME contributes 745.73% during the last year, 73% during the last year overall export. MSME has lot of flagship scheme for the MSMEs like Prime Minister Employment PMEGP, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, up to 50 lakh for the manufacturing new setup as well as for the modernization or upgradation of the technology, 20 lakh for the service sector. Mudra loan is there, banker will highlight more on this. Then Aspire scheme is there for promoting them and training them for to become the entrepreneur. CGTME scheme, which was earlier for the 2 crore, has been increased for the 5 crore collateral free loan. Then credit link capital subsidy is there, 25% subsidy for the SC enterprises and 15% for the general category. Support and participation in tender, trade fair, domestic as well as international. Training program includes expo, purchase preference for the government policies. These are the few initiatives taken by the Ministry of MSME. Then one of the most digital initiative taken by the Ministry for the Udyam registration. You can take Udyam registration online without any, that is totally free of cost, self-satisfaction basis. You can get the Udyam registration and you can take all the advantage of MSMEs, which is providing by the Ministry, state government and all the enterprises. Then public procurement policy has come into effect where 25% procurement made mandatory for the micro small enterprises. Out of 25%, 4% reserved for SC/ST category and 3%, so 3% for the women enterprises. So 25%, as on today also government is the one of the largest buyer for the product. So this gives a huge back for the MSMEs. Then Sambandh portal is made for monitoring the public procurement policy. Every public enterprises has to give the justification for the, and most of the services, most of the PSUs are getting around 25% for the MSME and few are even if giving more orders to the MSMEs. Sambandh portal is made for MSMEs. There is a clause because payment is one of the which gives the cash flow for the company. So within 45 days, every MSME has to pay it within 45 days. Basically, this implementation of the policies through MSME through different offices. Office of the Development Commissioner of DC MSME, basically formulating, coordinating, implementing and monitoring different policies and program for the promotion and development of MSME. NSIC is organization where to promote, add and foster the growth of MSMEs through different type of a scheme, which include technology, finance, other support services are there. Khadi village in the KVIC, KVIC is the nodal agency for the PMEGP and Spurti, other schemes are also implementing. Choir board, basically choir board for the promoting overall development of choir industries and improving living conditions of the workers engaged in the traditional industry. NSIC supports in marketing support. NSIC provides single point registration. If you get registered through NSIC, you can get tender document free of cost. Exemption from the payment of earnest money deposit in tender participating MSCs quoting price band L1 plus 50% shall also be allowed to supply a portion of 25% of the requirement, bringing down their price to L1 price. Consortia formation for the tender where NSIC participate on the behalf of the unit or consortia of the unit and grab the order, then distribute based on their capacity. So MSME Global Mart B2B web portal is made for the MSME where you can get tender and trade information within few minutes. You can get your website made display of the product and services, connect buyer and supplier, dealer and distribute, trade list for the international as well as domestic. We are coming with because during the last section I have seen they are talking about the B2C. B2C, we are coming up with the B2C with ONDC platform. We have to onboard 5 lakh MSMEs on B2C platform. We are supporting in the exhibition and trade fair, then vendor development program, buyer seller meet is being organized to buyers along with the different buyers to participate buyer seller meet to enrich small enterprises knowledge regarding terms and condition, quality, purchase, etc. Credit support, today's main session is the credit support. NSIC is providing credit support in terms of raw material assistance. NSIC has tie-up with a lot of raw material supplier, bulk supplier like Steel Authority of India Limited, RINL, NALCO, and we provide at very competitive rate, and we are providing credit support, financing for their procurement of the raw material. And also the buying, the actually jo cost of, we are providing roughly 13,000 per metric ton discount if you are procuring raw material from the NALCO. If you are any MSCs who directly procuring from, they may be getting 4,000 or 5,000 like that. So their prices is little bit competitive than the directly buying and through NSIC. So raw material assistance helps him in getting the raw material at competitive rate as well as their product will be on competitive. Then financing for the marketing activities, short term like bill discounting and other facilities are also there. NSIC has tie-up with almost all nationalized bank, including IDBI Bank and all nationalized bank and some private bank also to support their credit requirement. We are hand-holding complete to the MSMEs to provide them credit support because we know the requirement of the banks. Different bank has different type of requirement, but most of the bank is having mainly some few common requirements, so we completely hold and give the complete. NSIC Venture Capital Fund recently launched by the ministry, which is NSIC Venture Capital Fund Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Small Industries Corporation Limited. The ministry has decided to create an alternative investment fund, namely Self-Reliant India Fund, providing growth capital to the micro, small and medium enterprises through equity, quasi-equity, equity-like a structure instrument. This will facilitate them to provide more listing of the stock exchange and becoming national and international champion. SRI fund will have mother fund, daughter fund concept with a corpus of 10,000 crore as mother fund. Within short period of 2 years, till December 2024, 59 impaneled daughter funds are there. We have from Sri Fund invested 1,164 crore and 9,999 crore by daughter fund in MSME sector. Total 11,164 crore equity based financing we have done for MSME. This is a big achievement. And so this is the new concept and the technology in front of, we have various technology center for the training and all this. And most important session has to a panel discussion has to be done. And thank you very much for listening patiently. Thank you.
Please be seated. So I request all other panel member, please do join, sir. Join, madam. Yeah. Yeah. Come. Welcome, Hari. हाँ. बैठ इधर बैठ. Okay. Shetty, come. हाँ बैठ इधर बैठ. Hey, I will last. हाँ. Yeah. So you have heard from Manoj Kumar Singh ji. There are quite a lot of government initiative. Only the point is the knowledge at the ground level are very minimal, and there is always a gap. The government initiatives are more towards MSME, and but there is a little resistance also. Some of the bank also to give. Otherwise, abhi under the credit guarantee scheme, 2 crore you can give. But sometime no, some people still believe that why should we give without any security and all. तो ये है ना, और ऐसा भी है, क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट है, marketing development hai. There are very scheme. Another thing, even for procurement from the corporate or even government procurement, there is a certain percentage, which again a few will get. So if the real MSME work with this government scheme alone, they can prosper. So one more question I am asking all the group now. There is a huge gap between the requirement of credit vis-a-vis the real credit. ये है ना, हम बोलते बोलते जाते हैं ये रियल वो फंड ऐसे बहुत सारा ना गैप है. So how are these gap could be bridged, and what are the banks particularly also and other stakeholders are making endeavor to see that all these credits requirement are met by the formal credit instead of informal credit. आर्य जी बताइए. आपको मैं
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
See, the importance of MSME need not to be, told. Everybody knows this. Now the MSME has become a big word. Otherwise, banks have already realized this now because they have burnt their finger in the corporate banking. So now most of the banks, are preferring this sector where they can make lots of money. But yes, there is a challenges. The traditional approach of the banks may not work now because there are various factors now, and the fintechs are posing a challenge to the banks. But fintechs is also giving some aspiration to banks, traditional bankers, to reorient themselves. If they reorient themselves, change their operations, tweak their policies, and change their model, they can, make lots of money. And I'm seeing that going forward, banks will be changing MSME, not the MSME will be changing the banks for funding.
This is a good statement.
This is going to happen because now the fintechs, the kind of services they are providing, B2B I'm telling, the kind of support and the concept they are coming with to us, with the help of fintech, B2B fintechs, we can do wonders. The banks are really changing this, and I see the kind of infrastructure, digital infrastructure is created or being created. The government thrust in the sectors, the innovation is happening, the new concept of lending is happening. Now the banks are changing their approach. Before they were simply funding based on the accounts or balance sheets. Now they are changing their concept. They are funding. They have started funding based on cash flows. The others lending concept is also coming now. Some, especially NBFCs and banks also, giving credit based on creditors, suppliers, creditors, behavior, suppliers, feedbacks, and the embedded financings. New concept is coming, which will going to help. And I see because of these initiatives, this gap is going to come down, substantially in futures. And the days are not very far then when this bridge is, completely vanished from this system. MSME, unless we help or support MSME, the vision of Viksit Bharat may not be possible without supporting the MSMEs. So banks are here, banks are changing their concept, banks changing their models, banks changing their process, and this is going to help them and support them. And it would be an equal opportunity to MSMEs, and this will be a win-win situation to both MSME as well as banking sector.
So I will come to you little later, some other follow-up question. So now we'll hear from Madam Radha that all MSMEs along with the debt, अभी साहब ने मनोज कुमार सिंह भी दिए equity funding. So this one of the important area of equity raising is through the listing. So in that environment, how are the exchanges are taking initiatives, and how far today? Okay, that there are some pitfalls and all, but overall I think it has been a successful environment. So can you kindly cover the overall performance as well as the what promotional efforts you should do to reach out to the MSME and get the necessary equity funding? Yeah.
As everybody, as everybody has already mentioned, MSMEs are the backbone of the whole industries. Without MSME, I don't think so the large-scale industries can work. Every large-scale industry has to depend on MSMEs for this work. And it's already been told that they support the number of employment. I think around 20 crore people are employed in the MSME sectors. So this is not a small thing. Okay. But generally, and this has been recognized, and earlier the debt was the only thing they could go to. Nobody, equity was not thought about by these MSME. Then way back in 2012, SEBI and the exchanges have come together and said we can put up a platform, because if there is a good company, why can't people invest in the companies? Okay, so that we can help MSMEs raise equity through this platform. And at BSE, we had set up an SME platform, BSE SME, which was set up in 2012 for companies to come and raise equity to the platform. When we set up in 2012, it was not easy actually, because equity cult in an SME was not known actually. There was too much of lack of awareness, and people used to feel, the companies used to feel that it will be too much of a regulatory hassle to go through that, and it's a complex process. So earlier when it had started, we could see the issues of around 2 crore, 3 crores in the initial stages, which that is 2012 onwards, and which moved out to around, I would say in 18, 19, around 15 to 20 crores. But if I see now, in the past 2 years, the average size of issue has been around 40 crores. The largest issue which has been raised in our exchange is 189 crore. And 189 crore is not a small issue. In fact, there are some companies on the main board which raise 189 crores, and now here SMEs have gone. In fact, yesterday or the day before yesterday, we have closed one issue which has raised 170 crores. So this has become the trend now. So what happens with an SME listing? What happens? Their companies gain more visibility. Their brand is recognized. These are the advantages they get. The employees who are there in the SMEs, generally what happens, if the SME is performing well also, then they are not able to retain the employees, so the employees leave. But when they are listed, what happens is these SMEs are able to give ESOPs to the employees and retain the employees. So that retention of employees is also possible through SME listings. Also, one of the more advantage is that if an SME goes and thinks about acquiring some other companies, but it's always a cash crunch that SMEs face. Once they are listed, they have a listed paper with which they can go, and without shelling out any cash, by issuing shares of their company, they can acquire the company. So this is what the benefits are. And totally as of today, we have at BSE, there are around 549 companies that have raised over 8,000 crores. And if you ask me, the market capitalization, how these companies had grown, it is the market capitalization, 8,000 crores has become over 2 lakh crores. So this is the growth that the SMEs have.
Oh, 2 lakh crores. Give a big hand. Both BSc and NSC working.
No, sir, I'm talking about only BSc.
Oh, BSc only. Oh, then it is big, another double clap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put together, it will be a double amount actually.
Very good. So now I will come to you little later again. So Mr. Shetty, Amara PN Shetty, that see, it is a fact. Any MSME suddenly cannot sometimes require additional working capital, and they need additional fund because they have a bulk order, or they have a aspiration in terms of the export order. And generally हमारा estimation है ना, वो estimated basis में requirement करने के बाद, तो वो additional के लिए if you are again following the banking system formality, आर्य जी बहुत time, तो कभी कभी पहले हमारा डायमंड में ऐसा था that we give ad hoc sanction in the beginning itself. तो उसमें ऐसा रोल में हमारा शेट्टी जी का रोल है. Though he has made a that way depth of MSME, and wherever required sudden requirements of fund or their additional margin or their term loan के लिए if they need some additional funds from them, that is where instead of debt, instead of that equity plays a role. तो अभी थोड़ा लोन में भी लेके बाद में equity develop करेगा because the flow back of profits. तो how are your experience in MSME lending, unsecured lending, and how are your ecosystem is helping that?
Yeah, I think overall, if you ask me, people may say that there is a lot of challenges in terms of raising debt in the country. But if you ask me, the way, since we are in the market today, if you have decent balance sheet with good banking, enough capital is available, and banks are lending, there's no challenge at all. If you ask me personally, the challenge sometimes is that the business model itself, the credit score of the customer, and EMI paying capacity. End of the day, obviously, bank need to recover their money, right? Because they take deposit, they are responsible. They need to be responsible there. But otherwise, yes, raising unsecured has also become really easy. Earlier, the way you will get unsecured business loan is you should have a proper P&L balance sheet. If all your ratios are met, then only you will get unsecured business loan. But now that has changed. Now it has moved to cash flow based mechanism, where as long as your banking is good, if your EMI paying capacity is visible in your bank, you can get unsecured business loan from banks and NBFCs now. As you said, even there are some fintechs are even taking aggressive calls. That may be a challenge at times because the delinquency there is shooting up. But otherwise, most of these regular MSMEs are doing well, and even the delinquencies are not that great in that segment. The problem is if the turnover is less than 50 lakh, and there if the MSME is taking aggressive calls, then there's a challenge. Otherwise, getting unsecured business loan is no big a challenge now. And plus, one more thing which MSMEs should look at is that you should look at bill discounting.
Yes.
If you're supplying to good
Supply chain,
corporates,
yes.
supply chain financing in both bill discounting as well as purchase bill discounting, both they can explore. And I think they should understand how this mechanism works. And that way, raising capital debt is not that a challenge in the country today.
एक follow-up question, the rating of the MSME, no? Your organization is also helping them in some audit or something, or you have some system. Because generally, all MSME have to be careful about their rating. Because particularly capital funds, if you are drawing for your drawings and all, that may have a bad end. So how did you find?
Rating is not required for most of the MSME loans. RBI has raised that ceiling.
Raised the limit.
I think it's beyond 5 or 10 crore, they only require a rating. Otherwise, banks are doing internal rating while giving loans to
RRG,
MSMEs.
yes. You can
that's what the
later
weight is,
cover
right?
on the rating
You don't
aspect.
think, what is the ceiling now? I think up to 5-10 crore, you don't need rating at all as of now. Yeah, 50 CR and above. Till then, you don't need the rating at all now.
Okay, yeah,
But
now that has been recently enhanced.
It's
Okay.
amended, yeah.
Okay, I will come again. Yeah. Mr. Ramesh Kumar, that आपने वो भारत मंच का एक how that is working and what is the whole methodology in the Bharat Manch and how do you facilitate both side and how that has been how in a way MSMEs are getting encouraged response for you and they are also appreciating you.
So what we have done at Rupee Boss is we have been predominantly in the lending space for more than 8 years, and we've been meeting around 500 to 600 MSMEs on a daily basis. And when we meet the client, it is just not restricted to loans, that we realize that they are also having a lot of other challenges, be it technology support, need a marketing and a salesman marketing support, or it could be HR support. So we thought, we should create an ecosystem where every solution could be arranged for the MSME under one roof. Basically, so that on the demand side, we have all the MSMEs coming to us for their requirement, and on the supply side, we have all the partners whom we have empaneled on, so that, specific budget-wise, we can do the matchmaking and connect them to the right solution partner. So that will give a lot of emphasis and a lot of impetus to the MSMEs to come out of the challenges, because the whole world is talking all about last so many 10 to 15 years only on challenges. So we said, why should we speak only on challenges? Let us talk about solutions for the MSMEs, because backbone of the economy and they play a very vital role. And so something unique will make a difference in the life of their business, and that will scale up their business also.
Okay, thank you. That is a really good, I think this platform has enabled both the stakeholders come together, and I am sure now the next step is they are also integrating with the ONDC.
ONDC, yeah.
And later they will integrate with the banks also, because they have so many banks. तो अब मनोज सिंह साहब, एक है आपने भी बताए थे, बहुत सारा हो गए तो भी some of the government schemes थोड़ा पर्कुलेटिंग डाउन लेवल में थोड़ा गैप आता है. इसका इकोसिस्टम डेवलप करने के लिए एज NSC और द स्टेट लेवल वेरियस MSME ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, हाउ दैट होल mechanism can be done so that the relevant scheme to them, which are the relevant scheme, accordingly they should be able to take benefit. तो आपका तरफ से कैसा इसका इनिशिएटिव सर?
Recently, Ministry has launched a team scheme where state government as well as banks and we take on a same platform and disseminate the information including district level with the state government. So this is one of the recent initiative has been taken by the Ministry of MSME under team. And as I told, NSIC is also coming up with ONDC platform, and 5 lakh MSME's customer will be on board one B2C platform also.
That efforts is going on.
Yeah. Ministry has already sanctioned 277 crore for the onboarding the MSMEs in ONDC platform.
दूसरा एक cluster development, there are so many MSME clusters. Both, I think CDB also makes a list of that cluster. Now, in the cluster development, that micro and particularly the smaller, sometimes they don't figure because the bigger MSME is there. So whether the government also allocates a lot of funds for cluster development.
Yeah, cluster development program is being implemented by MSME DFO through MSME DFO, and already there are a lot of cluster we have developed within Maharashtra, within India. So जो भी cluster रहते हैं वहाँ पे common facility center, then Spurti scheme is one of the schemes is also implemented by the KVIC where common facility center can be given, and through cluster also common facility. State government is having similar program also. They are also developing cluster development.
Thank you, sir. Now, earlier हम बताए थे आर्य जी that for export requirements, how the banks are reacting. One is they have to be competitive pricing, they have to be adequate funding, then they should also be encouraged to go for global market, for which sometimes participating in a trade fair or some other things also. Is there we are expanding our packing rate, post shipment is there. Beyond that also to promote export, are we having any scheme?
See, the banks are providing post-credit, pre-shipment, post-shipment. IDBI is providing, post-shipment, pre-shipment in foreign currencies also. Bank have a, IDBI Bank has a special trade finance centers for, supporting the exporters. We have roughly 60 trade finance centers across India. Then we have in various locations, we have a dedicated fund managers, treasury dealer, and trade finance expert also. Apart from this, we continuously, on basis conduct export awareness program, wherein the exporters, we give the details of the export facility of the
Foreign
government of
exchange
India.
workshops
We are conducting. Then we are not only promoting our products, export products, import products, so we are also promoting the government sponsored schemes. There is a interest equalization schemes, and the very competitive rate of interest we are giving export finance, import finance. We have a capability of giving solution in 100 currencies. 100 foreign currencies we can give you a solution to the exporters, importers. We have corresponding banking across the world. So these are the things are there. Then apart from this, this export has a very good potential for MSME. The only issue is that the awareness, which has to be created. For that, we are conducting lots of seminars. Government is also doing these things, and there is a lots of support is also required because it has to be competitive in the international market. If we are not competitive, then it would be very difficult. Then apart from this, the MSME is also to be very competitive. They should not be dependent on the subsidy.
Yeah,
And they has to be very, also have to be reorient themselves.
Quality and productivity.
Yes, quality is also an issue.
Yeah.
And they should have some kind of bargaining power. So that will be helpful.
Yeah, you want to talk?
Just to add, to uplift the MSMEs to focus on the exports, there is a scheme called Procurement and Marketing Support System. Now, this is something which under the MSME ministry, if you participate in any exhibition or a trade fair in India or domestically, and you can also participate internationally also. Now, herein, if you are a male entrepreneur, you get 80% reimbursement of all the expenses which you make in that exhibition. That's number one. And if it is a woman entrepreneur, you get 100%. So just imagine up to 1 lakh, you can reimburse the entire amount, and the same is applicable for an international exhibition also. In that way, the ministry is supporting the MSMEs to do cross collaboration, transactions, and showcase their products and tie up with the foreign markets also. So this is a great opportunity, but many of the MSMEs are not aware about it, and that's something which we have to create awareness among all the MSMEs across the country. Thank you.
I would like to add, in international exhibition, NSIC, MSME, DFO is also giving, the reimbursement is up to 5 lakh rupees per international exhibition.
That is what, no, because that is where I asked that question.
Number one. Number two, there is reimbursement for the first time exporter. 80% of the processing fee is being reimbursed. So first time exporter, they can processing fee can be reimbursed. NSIC is the nodal agency for the providing reimbursement for the testing facility up to 1 lakh rupees. Then we have tie-up with the DNB for providing DNB number is very important, especially we are exporting. Then we have it tie up with we have around 20-25% discount is there. We have tie up with the Joho, and a lot of initiative we have taken for the export also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Abhi, Madam Kirti person, Radhaji, that in the hype of IPO of SME, when the regulator recently found some lacuna, and in one upper section there, one of the earlier SEBI person was saying that just of course for that is his opinion, अभी नहीं है SBI में, SEBI में वो बोलते हैं ऐसा IPO में only institutional investors should invest, not the retail investors, because he feels that they are taking a big risk in that. So that is apart from that, but the SEBI has come with the little tightening of the rules. That particular action, how the SMEs have taken up?
See, because of the awareness that is being created, there are many and more companies coming into the equity fold. They want to raise. And if you see, once they are listed, actually the pricing also, first day of listing itself, the pricing crosses 90%. So it's very attractive for everybody to come and list on the exchanges. So there are sometimes what happens is just to get the advantage of the pricing, there are some companies which may not be actually fitting into this, they also come into the exchange. They may fit into the eligibility criteria, but in spirit they may not be actually done. So we have at our own, at the exchange level, there is a eligibility criteria of track record of 3 years, then net worth of 1 year and net worth of 1 crore and net tangible assets. But over and above, to curb this thing of that any SME coming out without having a proper knowledge and all that, what SEBI is saying that there should be a proper, means SMEs who are making a profit at the operating profit levels of 1 crore. See, these are the additional criteria that has been imposed by SEBI. 1 crore is the operating profit criteria. Earlier, for the past 12 years, there was only thing the operating profit should be there. But then again, by this criteria of operating profits, what will happen, ki sustainability will come, there will be, after the issue also, we can see good companies who are making such profits, so that once they are in listed entity, they can also bear the expenses of listing and all that, and yet they can continue to make profit. So that is one thing that has added. Secondly, generally SEBI restricts, nowadays to just, as I said, to get the price advantage. Why do we want to companies to raise equity, to make a capital expenditure, to generate funds for that? But many companies we see that they are doing an OFS. OFS is an offer for sale. What happens is the promoters are diluting their equity just to make profit without any capital expansion. So that doesn't bring anything on the table of the company. That brings like money only in the pocket of the companies, promoters. So SEBI has restricted that. We have seen 100% OFS issues also on the exchange. So SEBI has restricted that, and SEBI has said that offer for sale should only be for a maximum of 20%. And also again they have put in a guideline that even 20%, and then whoever is offering, that person, that promoter or that FII, AIF or whatever it is, they cannot offer more than 50% of their equity to the offer for sale. So they have also, even after the listing, they have some skin in the company so that they can also control the company.
Yeah, that is what that rule has been brought.
Yeah, so that rule has been brought in. Then again, one thing is that the objects, many a times what is the objects seen is that promoters have to build the company. Promoters many a times get the equity and in the company and build up the company. Now their equity is the equity that they have gotten to raise the company to a second level. They have gone in, many companies have gone in to repay these loans of the promoters, which again that is not getting any capital generation in the
Correct.
company. So
Cannot.
that also SEBI has stopped it. SEBI says no repayment of promoter loan in the company as to be funded through the IPO proceeds. So these are some of the things. Then there is lock-in of the promoters has also been increased. Maximum that has become 2 years. And general corporate purpose. Most of the issues, if you see, there is a 25% thing that you can have a general corporate, and nothing is defined in the general corporate purpose. You can take it for anything, everything. So that has also been restricted to 15% or 10 crores, whichever is lower. So these things have been made, and I think the quality of the companies coming in will improve in that.
I think these guidelines are very timely, and that will give the more confidence to the investors.
Correct.
Also.
Correct.
And the utilization of funds also will be very, in a proper way. And both the stake, promoter stake and the public stake.
Yes.
So I think that is really appreciable. Now coming to you, afterwards I will come this side. आर्य जी, ये गवर्नमेंट का स्कीम आने वाला है 100 करोड़ का एक गारंटी स्कीम फॉर टर्म लोन. सर, इट इज ऑल्सो टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन आई थिंक, and maybe for further improving their overall improvement. So I think it is almost in the verge of approval. So how do you see that? And it is there is no restriction up to 100 crores they are giving the guarantee, and it can go. And another thing is the entire definition of MSA also earlier enlarged. So how do you feel and this particular scheme?
This would be a game changer, because now from 5 crore up to 5 crore they are giving a guarantees.
Yes.
Now this with 100 crores of corpus
Yes.
giving guarantees for machine upgradation. That will help MSME sector a lot. Though the details of the features of the scheme is still not available, I think that will help a lot because the markets in the bank, even the banks are waiting eagerly for this scheme to come. So that way, so that we can support the sector more aggressively with the benefits of this kind of guarantee from the sovereign guarantee.
Yeah.
I think that will help a lot.
Even during the COVID period, the government came with the support scheme. And another thing, they also brought debt, instead of debt, longer term equity. उसमें अभी साहब ने बोला अच्छा ट्रैक्शन आया है, पहले बिगिनिंग नहीं आया था, बाद में आया. So these are the good scheme. Now
That is, details are still not
What is
come.
that,
So
100
this is
crore?
corpus. It's a corpus of
No, no.
100 crore.
What is that?
No. They are giving up. The details are not available.
what they
still.
have told, budget में up to 100
Up to
crores.
100 crore.
Huh? Country. No, what nahi hai? Oh, no. One MSME, they have enjoying facility of say 200 crores. For their requirement, 100 crores per party they are giving guarantee. That way. So, up to 100 crores. Suppose it is 20 crores also, 20 crores. It will be like that.
That's what, so details are still not available, we have to wait.
My understanding is like that.
No, we have to wait.
So anyway, continuing that, Shetty ji, आपका generally MSMEs, now we are not talking from the other side, MSMEs, how they are improving their what you call governance practice or accounting principles, or how they are benchmarking themselves to global benchmarks, and because they have to be definitely favorite for the importer. So from your own experience, because you would have dealt also, आपका कुछ इसका suggestion, because for the some of them they can carry forward. Yeah.
I think if you want to raise debt or equity both, if you do not take care of this, you won't get debt, you won't get equity both. Right? If you want to say from micro to small to medium to large enterprise, then there's no choice. If you want, say, 10 crore debt, then obviously banks will look at all the papers. Equity, obviously, they'll look more minutely in terms of how your company is managed. So even this SME IPO, I think amount of paperwork required in terms of all the compliance, like you just can't think about going to IPO without this compliance at all. You can't raise money at all. I think if in case if you're looking at scaling your company, there's no choice.
Correct.
And if you ask me, if you're not scaling, please don't start a company, because you can't be competitive at all in today's world. You have to keep scaling, and you have to keep improving all your compliances, and whether it is your GST, whether it is your PF, ESIC, everything, whatever is required, and reporting of the same to the respective government authorities on a timely manner is important. Otherwise, the penalty is huge now. You can't afford to do that at all.
Correct. So continuing that, Arya ji say that abhi बहुत सारे MSME also goes into sickness.
Okay.
So from your experience, because the MSME community is there, what are your experience, why they are going sick, how they could avoid that, and how the bank is also able to get them that they should approach in time instead of resorting and getting into the sickness. So same continuation of benchmarks.
I would like to add here, see, it's a matter, it's not that it's if you need fund from the banks, so you need documentation, accounts and all those things. It's a matter of financial discipline. If you want to work, you have to be financially disciplined, you have to be in compliance with the local laws, and you have to present yourself in such a way to your buyers and seller that they will deal with you. Unless they have this kind of comfort with you, they will not deal with you. So it's not that bank's requirement is there, then you have to maintain accounts. So first thing you need to keep in this mind. And he said that if you can't maintain, you don't do the business. Now the question comes to that.
No, I'll just add to that's what I said. In the equity also it's the same thing. It gets you the whole transparency. एक बार आप वो process में करो ना, तो you will know where you are actually without going in through. Actually, you will feel, yes, since I've done the whole process, now I'm in a much better position in all aspects of it.
Okay, now there is a apprenticeship program which actually Rupee Boss also is properly propagating. So we would like to hear from Mr. Ramesh.
So, well, this is a scheme called NATS, National Apprenticeship Training Scheme, and NAPS, National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme. Now, this was launched under the 1961 Apprenticeship Act 8 years back. The challenge is 99.99% of the MSMEs are not aware about this particular scheme. I mean, if I'm going to tell you, I'm sure each one of you will be very well cheerful about the fact that such scheme exists. Now, what is the scheme? The scheme says that if your organization has got 30 plus employees working in your company, in that situation, you are required to place 2.5% to 25% of your total workforce with new trainees, that is either a graduate, diploma holder, and a undergraduate. And in this three scenario, the government will pay 4,500 rupees stipend to each graduate per month, per year, consecutively, 4,500 per graduate per month for 1 full year. And in the case of diploma holder, it is 4,000, and in the case of undergraduate, it is 1,500. Now, for example, if you have decided to take up a graduate with a salary of 15,000, now government will pay how much? 4,500, and as an employer, you are supposed to only pay the difference amount, that is 10,500. So essentially, you are saving 4,500 per month per graduate. That comes to 54,000 per year, and 48,000 per diploma holder, 18,000 in an undergraduate case. Now, just imagine the government is sharing the stipend with the employer, so that you can divert that funds to other working capital requirement or whatever need you may have. On the other side, we are also ensuring the employment is taken care of. Rather, the educated unemployment is curbed in the country. So this is a very unique scheme, and I think every company which is having 30 plus employees should avail this. We at MSME Bharat Manch, associated with a third party aggregator, are the authorized partner for this, and we can always support you in this entire process. And the other two advantages, there's complete exemption on the ESIC or the labor laws for 2 consecutive years. The ESIC, the wages, the bonus, the people can't get into any workers union and so on and so forth. And third is, if you have CSR funds, that fund can also be paid in the form of stipend. So that's another advantage to it, basically. Now, this is for NATS is for graduate and undergraduate. For NAPS, there has been some technical hitch in the last 2-3 months with the governance portal, which is getting rectified. But otherwise, NATS is functional, full and up and running. So this is an opportunity for all the MSMEs across the country.
But Ramesh,
And we at Rupee Boss have used it, and we have witnessed the credit of the funds coming into our account.
this is mandatory, you say?
This is mandatory.
Yeah.
And this is mandatory, and else there is a
Yeah,
penalty of 500 rupee per month per graduate for 3 months, and after the 3rd month it is going to be 1,000 per graduate.
I don't think so. People are
People are not aware about it.
Yeah.
So-
Also a scheme where, people who know who will take advantage, who don't know, don't get that.
So we at MSME Bharat Manch have been taking one step ahead to create awareness, and we could jointly associate with, like, that's how with NQ collaboration and various other forums we are creating that awareness.
Can be downloaded regularly, they update information on that.
Yes. Yes. You want to add anything?
Anybody can go on Play Store and download that.
MSME Bharat Manch, anybody can download
I think that people don't know, because once they know, they will know about these schemes also.
And the penalty also, I think government has not strictly implemented that penalty thing. I think once they strictly implement the penalty, I think that awareness will also go up. Today, nobody is getting penalized.
That's why there is no
for not,
awareness,
yeah,
actually.
that's right.
Okay. Now we'll open for the questions. Yeah, please. And our audience here, speakers, you should be later ready with one good idea to take our MSME to the highest. Each one has to give one good idea. Yeah, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaibhav. First of all, thank you for your education and everything. So I have 2 questions, one regarding debt. Sorry, you're the only bankers here to answers, and one for the equity. Ma'am, recent changes in SME IPO is very welcoming, because kachra saaf ho jayega, right?
I can't sit and see that.
ठीक है, that's in the right directions. मेरा एक क्वेश्चन आपसे है, व्हाट्स यू थिंक कि नेक्स्ट और क्या चेंजेस आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं इन 1 ईयर कि यार ये चेंजेस और यू फील कि दिस इज गोइंग टू बी चेंज, दिस इज हाउ मोर यू फिल्टर यू वांट टू डू इट फर्स्ट?
See, if you ask me as a exchange level, what?
हाँ, exchange level, because as a तो promoter
हाँ,
we
नहीं, हाँ,
deal,
हाँ.
as a consultant we deal 5, 10, you tell
Correct.
100.
Yeah, so exchange level में मुझे ये चाहिए कि जो भी हम documents हमारे पास आते हैं, at a merchant banker level also, there should be a proper diligence of those documents. बहुत सारे cases आते हैं which are actually not fit to come on the SMEs also. And वो हमें फिर रिजेक्ट करने पड़ते हैं. रिजेक्ट करें, सी प्रमोटर्स आर नॉट एजुकेटेड प्रॉपरली, फ्रैंकली. दे आर मतलब मर्चेंट बैंकर के धांसे में आ जाते हैं और दे गेट कि इतना पैसा हम आपको इतना वैल्यूएशन पे देंगे. बट फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग, दे नीड टू नो द rigmarole that it should go. They need to know the disclosures that is to be made. So my only thing which I would advise, yes, good companies, please do approach us and come in and make a proper disclosures of everything. So that would clean up the system.
Okay, hope we take one question last. Sorry, date है. Sir, we generally do that with MSME only in a ticket size of 10 crore and above. My general question is, अभी तो संसद में भी बात हो गई है. I don't see, मतलब how you see that you consider CIBIL score as a benchmark. मतलब I want कि आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं? आप CIBIL स्कोर को ऐसे बोलते हैं कि पापा ने बोल दिया है, नहीं करना है, मन नहीं करना है. What as a you senior bankers in everything understand कि ये end of the day algorithm है, right? So what is your opinion? Why you don't want to read CIBIL and go your own judgment? देना नहीं देना, end of the day every banker has their own prerogative, which is very respectable. ठीक है? Okay, sorry. So your and that's the CIBIL ratings पे. और दूसरा क्वेश्चन है why do जब आप फ्रेश टेक ओवर करते हो और रेटिंग करते हो तो why you consider previous lender का benchmark? You set your own benchmark and why 25% का capping and all? What's your opinion on that? 25% capping और 30% capping on whatever last previous limit है उसके ऊपर टेक ओवर नॉर्म्स में.
First of all, CIBIL is not the sole criteria of funding to MSME. There are various criteria. CIBIL is one of them. And
CIBIL कितना एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं? 5 से बेंचमार्क है ना सर, आपको एंट्री नहीं दोगे आप हमको?
no, there are various products based on that wherein the CIBIL is not one of the criteria at all. There are products where CIBIL is not the criteria at all. So CIBIL is one of the criteria, is a wonderful thing. Before that, when the CIBIL was not there, it was very difficult for the, a lender to judge a company or an individual. Now it's a very good tool. It's both ways there. Now even the, retail sector also, now people are saying if you want to, take finance from a bank, you have to keep track of your CIBILs. Now CIBIL is one of the criteria, it is not the sole criteria, and banks are funding without the CIBIL also. Now another question was that, it's not that now banks are taking 25% of turnover, banks are now funding based on the cash flows also. So,
I don't know about ID पे जब अभी मिले आपका बेसिक कंसेप्ट है कि 5 करोड़ की लिमिट है, मैं टेक ओवर आया 125 से ऊपर नहीं जाऊंगा, irrespective current merit of the case.
it's not that. It is not that. It's not that. It's not that, sir.
Okay, now we'll, working? So, this, the unsecured loans were so much growth, and the Reserve Bank, they brought some break on that, and they also loan to the NBFC, and they increased the capital, risk weights. And with that, the growth has come to a very moderate level. And the general feeling is, I don't know, Mr. Arya also, that most of the such players, there are delinquency is only in that such category. Other than that, general credit cost or credit delinquency has been reduced. So we'll have a first-hand experience from Mr. P.N. Shetty, how this is working.
I think there are two segments. One is regular MSMEs who are taking lending, and there the delinquency is not that a big challenge there. The problem is subprime, where you are giving loans from say 50,000 rupees to 10 lakh rupees. There, some fintech players and some aggressive NBFCs are lending. There's a huge delinquency because obviously the way it is loan is given, what they did is if the money lender is giving at say 50%, we will give it at say 35-40%. So say 5 to 10% will be delinquent. I'll still be profitable, right? But then obviously some of these customers must have taken multiple loans. So that's why today they are in a position not to pay the EMIs. I think that's where the maximum challenge today. The biggest risk is, I think, growth. I think it was expected that India will grow at 8.5% GDP. Now we are talking about 6.4%. Now if that comes down to say 6%, 4%, that's when I think regular MSME default can rise in unsecured. That's when if the growth drastically comes down. Otherwise, most of the good MSMEs are aware that if their credit score comes down, they will not get any new funding even for working capital from any of the banks, right? So that awareness is still there. It's not a challenge when it comes to good MSMEs. Challenge is subprime. Even for personal loans, whatever the maximum default is happening at that less than 1 lakh rupees loan, that's where maximum default is happening. But if you ask me, it is some of the fintechs and some of the aggressive NBFCs goofed up there. It's not a systemic problem as such. And coming back to the credit, which I think CRIBIL is one of the bureau. There are 4 bureaus. And if you have to scale, I think since if we submit say 10 files, 4 or 5 files gets rejected for this credit score. But if you ask me, it is required. Otherwise, how will you know that who is a good payer? Otherwise, that discipline has to come to us as a country that I should not get default in my loan. So that everybody can get loans, right? So people should know who is a good, who's paying the EMIs on time and who's not paying on time, right? The people who are paying on time should get subsidized rate of interest.
एक अभी हरिहर जी ये प्री insolvency package for MSME इतना अभी he also will cover that. It has not received such traction. One is from your experience in the banking and all. I will come to you. So हरिहर जी आपका थोड़ा उसमें you throw the light. You can come here. Yeah. आपको एक चेयर भी लाई कोई तकलीफ? Yeah. He is the CEO of ARCSS.
Good evening, everybody. And at the outset, I thank Dr. Narendra for giving me this opportunity in the last moment. With President Trump coming over, there are so many changes. One change which is visible to the defaulters is that insolvency is not a dirty word anymore. He has come out of insolvency several times and now he has reached to the level of the highest executive in the world.
Yes.
Why I say this? For MSME insolvency, government has already done a pre-PEC insolvency, which is a simplified IBC. For various reasons, it has not picked up. I will give the reasons. But before that, let's try to understand what is the difference between a regular IBC and what is a pre-packaged insolvency for MSME. There are 3 basic differences. For IBC, the time norm is 330 days. For pre-pack, it's only 120 days, almost a third of that. In fact, for 90 days up to admission and 30 days has to be adjudicated. 90 plus 30, 120 days. Second, and which is very significant difference, in IBC, it is creditor in control. The creditor takes over the management of the company immediately. But in pre-pack, which is exclusively meant for MSME as of now, it's debtor in control. So the borrower still controls the management. 3, while IBC is completely formal, it has to go through various legal processes. This pre-pack is basically 90% almost informal, out of the court. Only when it's admitted and in the next 30 days when it gets the approval from adjudicating authority, it So it's mostly informal.
Yes.
So there are a lot of flexibility in building up this pre-packaged insolvency which was done in 2021. But unfortunately, the progress so far has been very tardy. As of September 2024, only 13 cases have been admitted, out of which one has been withdrawn. Out of those 12 cases, only 5 cases have been closed where resolution has happened, and rest 7 are still pending in different courts. So in 4 years' time, from 21 to 25 now, or 3.5 years, only 5 cases have been resolved, and the recovery rate there also is only 25% against IBC 32% on an average for all corporate debtors. So why this has happened? I mean, there have been so many studies at different government authorities and other think tanks. Basically, there are 3-4 key challenges which is important. One, first of all, most of the MSMEs are not aware of this product, number one. Number two, for giving a resolution plan, whether it's a MSME, eligible MSME or not, that part is also not clear. So when the RP doesn't declare it upfront, the resolution applicant is not very sure whether he will be eligible to submit the application. So there is lack of clarity. Number three, the MSMEs don't have that much of accounting withheld to or with the capability to have, bring a resolution plan to the lender and discuss across the table. 4, and which is most significant, most of the bankers are here. I was also a public sector banker. Normally, bankers are risk averse when taking a decision, and since most of this is informal, pre-packed, bankers rather prefer it to go through IBC, which is completely formal through a court of law. So most of the banks which are risk averse would like it to go through regular IBC rather than through pre-packed, where this for someday later maybe they could be challenged for taking a decision in that pre-packed position. So there are various factors, and of course there are procedural, so many hazards also, like for example, pre-admission, there are various levels of approvals to be obtained by the resolution applicant in terms of getting it approved by shareholders, getting from unrelated financial creditors, getting it approved by operational creditors. So the whole process, much though it's informal, is much cumbersome for a small MSME. That needs to be rationalized. Number two, admission part also, as most of the NCLTs are overburdened, normally these MSME cases linger on for years because they are of small amount, nobody gives much of importance, and neither they can afford to have best of lawyers there. So the solution to that could be maybe admission, automatic admission in insolvency process if the default is established, because there are only 2 things for admission into an IBC. There has to be a default, and number 2, that default has to be accepted by the borrower. If these 2 things are there, there is no reason why that cannot be a automatic admission in IBC based on information utility record. That would solve half of the problem if the admission part is done. Because post-admission, there are only 30 days for the NCLT to take a call. Of course, there also NCLT takes long period. So I mean, to just summarize, because we are running.
Thank you. Yeah, easily.
Ah,
Give a big clap to our Harihar Mishra ji. You know that same our what you call government was thinking this scheme should be also made applicable to corporate, because it is the best mechanism. But as you said, MSME level में the earlier I mentioned accounting और थोड़ा ऐसे withdrawal ये सब है तो ऐसा manager ने will not take the decision. That is the main reason. Now आपका because we are also maintain time, तो एक best benchmark or best thing MSME should take up to become big in the Viksit Bharat.
Yes, if they want to big, they should first of all, adopt technology. They should invest in R&D. They should diversify their buyers and creditors so that they will have a better, bargaining power. Otherwise, I have seen most of the time, the MSMEs are dependent on either one buyer or one seller. That they should diversify if they want to grow.
Correct.
And they should also develop competency, skill development of their people. That is very, very important if they want to grow.
Very good, very good. Well said. Then you have one question, please. Hello, bhai, mic hai? ये quickly, yeah.
Hello, this is Naseem Siddiqui and we are the award winner for the MSME. I'm from SecureTech. So my question is that a lot of MSMEs are being here. So we are like, people are not spending on, as you said that technology should be aware of. So there is a lot of guidelines are being coming up with SEBI or other RBI. So there are still lack of awareness of the about the cyber security area. So when we get in touch with the customer, so we come to know that they are little don't know about the cyber security or technology related. So what my question is that government body as well as bankers should be given awareness to the customer about the cyber security through the MSME register.
So
that
हमारा
is
मनोज सिंह साहब से पूछेंगे. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, what you said is correct, and you are at the right place, madam. Because banks, with the help of association, are, on this kind of platforms are creating awareness. Yes. So MSMEs must attend this kind of seminars, conclaves, where they will get lots of insight and the best practices across the industries. This kind of seminars only, the banks in the federations are creating awareness. So that would be helpful.
Yeah, please. Yes, sir.
Yeah, in fact, government is trying to disseminate their information in various way, digitalization, B2B side, another side. You must take advantage of that. It is not possible every time to reach each and every MSME by the government.
Thank you. So आपका एक sentence for the thinking big.
About the MSME, first digitalization can help them increase their turnover in not in increasing turnover but multiply the turnover. Second is one of the most lean management. They have to work maximum utilization of the input to output. Third and best part is the training part. Training, they must have trained manpower because retaining them and continuous training is a process. If three things they will concentrate, and last but most important, if technology product, then their profit margin will be higher.
Also will
Thank
be.
you.
Yeah. Yes, madam.
So there are around 6.3 crore MSMEs registered, and the number of SMEs that are being listed is put together in both the exchanges is 1,200.
Oh, we have a long.
We have a huge potential. So my only thing is there are many MSMEs who are actually eligible, who are good, should come in this market, in the equity market. And in fact, they more or less, or most of the people invest in other companies. So why don't they make a platform of their own so that others can come in and invest in their companies?
Thank you. Mr. Shetty.
Yeah, I think as everybody's shared, I think all these companies need to invest in technology and obviously people. When I say people, including the owner himself, yes. I think that learning mentality has to come, and world is changing so fast, and this new age technology like AI, ML, all these will redefine the way business is done across the world. I think if whether it's the owner, whether the team or company, if they're not learning new skills and upgrading themselves, then it'll be challenge. And lastly, scale. I think even if you're a large corporate, if you're not growing, you will die. So I think it's applicable to all of us. If we do not grow, we will die. Just simple thing is, suppose if I'm running a company, if I'm not growing, my employees will think that this company is not growing, let me go and work somewhere else. So growth is the key.
Some of the MSME, वो एक 50 नंबर का employees है तो एक rule अलग है, above है. So they will start so many creating companies so as to remain. Now वो सब आगे चलेगा नहीं. So I was also putting one question earlier. There must be within the MSME there should be a merger and acquisition, and they should grow in size. and if they grow in size, they can adopt technology. And we Indian corporate or external importers also, without quality adoption of global standards and technological adoption, those products they may not, if you are more on labor intensive, but again without the best practices, those products may not be taken. Similarly on ESG, unless they have the what you call environment, social and governance standards and ethical values also, they will not be accepted. So इनका point है, that is the where we have can achieve the Viksit Bharat. Mr. Ramesh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think while most of the points are covered, I would emphasize here more on Udyam registration, because only 10% of the total 6.3 crore has only gone for the Udyam registration. Now if, yeah, so however it is not very minuscule. So if that nomination, if they can nominate themselves and get the Udyam registration, they will be able to apply for all the government subsidies and schemes of MSME ministry, and that will definitely help them to scale up, and that will bring them to the level what we are talking about by 2047 Viksit Bharat, because 6.3 crore of MSMEs are true leaders in their own way. So I think that way they can scale up and bring a difference in the entire country.
I am mindful of your time also. All of you give a big clap to our panel. And I request our IDBI, madam, please come to give the, yeah, Lana. Sir, up wait, sir. Guys.
Now, what is most important is that MSME not only contributes 1/3 of GDP, it contributes almost 62% of employment in India, as per a latest McKinsey report.
Women, yes. Thank you very much, madam. Okay. Aapka other colleague come. Yeah. Aye. Come. Yes. This. Yes. Thank you. I request Manoj ji to give to our Arya ji. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Arya, please. Big clap. I request Harihara Mishra ji, I give it to. आप दे दो भाई, अरे हमारा always है इनका good wishes. Yes. Now I have the pleasure to give it to Ramesh Kumar.
Thank you.
श्री शेट्टी जी, आप इनको हरिहर मिश्र को दे दिए, लाना. Yeah. Cover. Yeah. So I request all of you tomorrow again. Please give a big clap. Tomorrow from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock we have the sessions, and morning 9 we have a great inauguration. Mr. Anand Sinha, former Deputy Governor Reserve Bank, is coming. Around 8:15 से सभी को ब्रेकफास्ट भी है, उसके बाद लंच है, उसके बाद डिनर है, और अराउंड 32 लीडरशिप अवार्ड देने का है. सो डोंट मिस द अपॉर्चुनिटी, एंड सेशंस आर ऑल्सो वेरी गुड ऑन द यूथ पावर, विमेन पावर, on financial sector leadership, on economic leadership, then how the CEO and CFOs can make enduring organization. उसका अलावा ये हॉल में full day on ESG special what you call lecture on environment, social governance. So I request all of you be in time. Also, if your friends and anybody would like to come, bring them here. Thank you very much. Good night. Shubharatri hai. All the best. Group picture. Group picture.